So Ron Rivera looking for better results on the opening kickoff, and this one is kicked on the ground. Polaris picking it up at the 9-yard line. And he brings it out beyond the 20 toward the 23-yard line. And Cam Newton coming on. And he has had a hand in all of the scoring for this team. He's accounted for all 9 Panther touchdowns, and he has become a league attraction right out of the box.
Well, he's been extraordinary. Even head coach for the New Orleans Saints, Sean Payton, said he's brought hope to this franchise. Now, Cam Newton said, it's not about hope. I want wins, and I want them now.
First down from the 23. Throwing on first down, and the pass is intercepted. Returning it is Patrick Robinson. And Robinson returns it to the 6-yard line. Robinson started last week and had his first career interception. And now picks up number 2, but there's a flag down.
Personal foul, face mask, number 34, half the distance to the goal. First and goal, New Orleans.
John Parry, the referee. D'Angelo Williams, face mask, and first and goal down.
Well, it's just a simple out route. Get a confidence throw for Cam Newton early, and he just missed that throw, plain and simple. Patrick Robinson, who Greg Williams will tell you is the best athlete in this secondary for the New Orleans Saints, and I don't know what happened. That ball just came out of Cam's hand wrong. Obviously not the way you want to start for the Carolina Panthers. We'll see if this Panthers defense can stand up, keep the New Orleans Saints out of the end zone. 23-yard return by Robinson, John, and it'll be a first and goal at the 3. Pierre Thomas stops at running back for New Orleans and gets the call. And Thomas, with second effort, gets it down to the 1-yard line. Good force by Pierre Thomas. Well, we know the Saints can throw, and they have a lot of targets, but right now they're in a goal line situation offensively. And remember, Carolina really struggled against the run last week against the Chicago Bears. Sean Payton, as an offensive play caller and the head coach, he likes to attack people. You show a weakness, he's coming after it. The run game, the run defense needs to improve for Carolina. Mark Ingram is in the game, and they hand off. And it's Jed Collins, the fullback, gets the ball first, and he doesn't get over. He gets to about the 2-foot line. No gain on the play, so they go to the fullback on the first play here. Yeah, and what an outstanding stop for the Carolina Panthers. It's Dan Connor. Here's the pass and the touchdown. Jed Collins couldn't go over on the ground, catches the 1-yard pass, and the Saints quickly capitalize on the turnover and take the lead. I mentioned quickly. You see how quick they got to that line of scrimmage, and the Carolina Panthers weren't ready. That's what Drew Brees will do. He likes going up tempo, catches a lot of defenses by surprise. He got the Carolina Panthers right there. And kicking the extra point, John Casey, who returns to Carolina after 16 years with the Panthers and was the last original Carolina Panther, now wearing the number 2 of New Orleans. The extra point is good, and it's 7-0. It was the pick, not the way you want to start out, particularly for a rookie quarterback. And it leads to the touchdown by the veteran quarterback, Drew Brees.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Well, the way to quiet this home crowd is to score after an interception and a touchdown, and now Cam Newton will go to work. And John, you just got through talking about how much he wants to win. He's got to be really angry with himself there.
He's a competitive guy. That fire burns deep, and you got to put that behind, put the frustration behind, and move forward in this game.
Deep kick by Moorhead, and it's out of the end zone for a touchback. So Drew Brees, as a result of that touchdown, now has thrown a touchdown pass in 32 consecutive games, 3rd all time.
And that's an incredible number. And you look at the guys in front of him, Johnny Unitas and Brett Favre, pretty great company. Drew Brees playing outstanding football.
First down on the 20-yard line for the Panthers, who just got off one play the first time they had the ball. Here's D'Angelo Williams looking to go outside. Shakes off Robinson, and a good gain and a first down as Williams goes out of bounds. Let's take a look at the rest of the Carolina Panthers offensive team. A new look offensively and a lot more explosive. And of course, Jeremy Shockey, how much did he want to play in this game?
Well, if I'm Rob Chadinsky, the offensive coordinator, I'm feeding Jeremy Shockey going up against his old team. You think this guy wants to win today? We saw it in practice on Friday. Ryan Khalil, one of the best centers in the National Football League, anchors this offensive line.
13-yard play on a running play. And now they go to D'Angelo Williams on the snap, and D'Angelo Williams with another first down. That was a direct snap to Williams, and Malcolm Jenkins brings him down after getting 18. That's 31 yards in 2 plays.
You watch right here, that's D'Angelo Williams. They showed this 3 or 4 times versus the Chicago Bears. He fakes to the right. Great vision by D'Angelo Williams to see the open hole to the left. Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints, said, this guy's of concern. We have a lot of respect for D'Angelo Williams. He always seems to hurt us. And he's hurting the New Orleans Saints defense early.
And Jonathan Stewart, the other running back, and they've gained just about the same amount of yards, comes in. So the Panthers are in Saint territory. Another direct snap, and this time it's Cam Newton with the run. So a little trickery here on direct snaps, and a pickup of only 2 yards to the 47 of New Orleans. Taking a look at the Saints defense, and of course they will rotate a lot of their linemen, and Joe Lon Dunbar again starts for Will Herring.
Jonathan Vilma, the heart and soul of this defense, the true leader. You look at the secondary, we saw Patrick Robinson with the pick early. Malcolm Jenkins, another playmaker for this New Orleans secondary.
Second down and 8. Here comes the pressure. Cam Newton, it's picked up nicely, and pass is caught about 4 yards shy of the first down by Jeremy Shockey, and a 4-yard gain. So Jeremy Shockey, Sean Payton said this week, you know, one of my favorite players. He said if I were one of his favorite players, I'd still be playing for him.
You know, Dick, and I've been one of those guys. After 11 years, I got cut by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We played them that next year. You think I wanted to beat those guys? I had 15 tackles, I had an interception, and I wanted to beat the entire city. And so I would continue to feed the ball to Jeremy Shockey, a tremendous player.
But you did that every game.
No.
Third down and 4 for the Panthers, trailing 7-0. Cam Newton's pass and overthrown, attempting to get it to Steve Smith. Second defender coming over at the last minute.
And Cam just a little bit off here early. Even the throw he did complete to Jeremy Shockey, just a little bit off. He'll find his rhythm. Offensive coordinator Rob Chadinsky told us, hey, this is not going to be the most rhythmic of games. When you face the Saints defense, they bring so much at you, so many different packages. Could be some frustration. It's going to be critical that we deal with that well.
Jason Baker will kick, and Darren Sproles is back deep, standing at the 10-yard line. Baker wants to kick it inside the 10, and he does. A fair catch called for by Sproles inside the 10. So Cam Newton looking to get on track, but he got the Panthers into Saint territory.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
And back here in Charlotte, the Saints starting from the 8-yard line. Last time they started from the 4 and got the touchdown. Drew Brees on first down. And the out is complete to Darren Sproles out of the backfield. And Sproles close to the first down, getting 9 yards on the play. Let's take a look at the Saints offense. Up tempo, they score a lot of points. Here they are with a lot of weapons.
Yes, they do, and you'll see a lot of people play. Marcus Colston back and healthy, played about 20 plays last week. He'll be in there a lot more this week. Very good in the interior of this line. De La Puente fills in for Olin Kreutz, the Saints starting center.
And Charles Brown at right tackle as well. Needing 1 yard to go, they go underneath and complete to Mark Ingram, and Ingram has a first down to the 26-yard line. With Godfrey on the tackle, we're featuring the two former Heisman Trophy winners Mark Ingram and Cam Newton today. Taking a look at the defense for the Panthers. And they were really nicked by Matt Forte's 205 yards last week.
Yeah, and they've been nicked by the loss of the two linebackers, Beeson and Thomas Davis. That's really hurt this defense. We'll see if they can overcome that here today.
First down at the 26. And here is Breeze going a little deeper, and the pass is caught at the 47-yard line by Marcus Colston. He is back indeed. A 21-yard gain and another first down.
Well, we talked in the open about timing and rhythm. And part of timing is good protection. Great protection. Look at this window. Very tight window that Drew Brees. But when you throw on time, you can get balls in those kind of windows. That's trust in Marcus Colston. It's good protection. And it's a game of inches, just a fingertip away for the Carolina defense.
On first down, the handoff to Pierre Thomas. As the Saints have three solid running backs they can use in Thomas, Sproles, and Ingram. Dan Connor, who's playing the middle linebacking spot after the injury to John Beeson. 4-yard gain for Thomas.
And Dick, we've seen them all already, and that's what we'll continue to see. We've seen Sproles, we've seen Ingram, we've seen Thomas. It's a nightmare, the substitution for opposing defensive coordinator, and the Carolina Panthers are figuring that out.
Second down and 6, and now we're seeing Sproles again. And here's Darren Sproles trying to go outside, and a big-time tackle made by James Anderson, who shifted over from the weak to strong side when Thomas Davis went out at a loss of 4.
Well, if you like the cat and mouse part, the strategy of football, Drew Brees sees an 8-man front. He checks. Carolina goes to a cover 2. They see that Drew Brees checks, so they come back, right back to an 8-man front. Great job by James Anderson matching the widths of Drew Brees, and we see the result, a tackle in the backfield. That's good stuff.
He did more before the snap than he did after.
Yeah, and the Carolina Panthers countered it.
And he made the tackle, so it's third down and 10. And this crowd is in full throat here, and the handoff is to Darren Sproles, and he'll have a first down. Still going. Fumble. And it's recovered by Carolina. And it was Sherrod Martin who ultimately came up with the ball for the Carolina Panthers. Sproles wouldn't go down and eventually coughed it up.
Well, this is just a great, outstanding effort play. And we'll see. I think that's going to come back for the Saints down by contact. But you talk about an effort play. Charles Johnson right here comes from all the way to the right defensive end position to cause this fumble, as it's called on the field. I think Sean Payton will challenge this. I think you'll see it as the Saints ball.
And he is doing just that. And this is an obvious challenge situation here, losing the ball or getting a huge gain of 24 yards from Darren Sproles, and again getting into Panther territory.
You saw how deadly this team is on third down with Darren Sproles. We'll see the challenge when we come back.
By Sprint, all football, no limits, only from Sprint. And by Pizza Hut, score a great deal on delicious pizza today, only at your Pizza Hut.
Challenged by Sean Payton, the ruling on the field that there was a fumble. Mike Pereira, our rules expert.
After reviewing the play, the runner's right knee and right elbow were down prior to the fumble. Therefore, it's a 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Mike, it was a close call, though.
New Orleans is not charged with the team timeout.
Mike, your view.
Clock will start at the ready for play.
Mike,
a real simple review here. You could clearly see that he was down, but he had to do other things while he was in there, too. To take a look at the clock. You didn't have to reset it because it goes back to a running clock. And, of course, then it made sure they announced the fact that New Orleans was not charged with a timeout since they did win this challenge. So good use of replay because he was clearly down.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. So the 23-yard run by Sproles, who remains in the game. First down now for the Saints on the Panther 28. Here's Drew Brees' throw, and a flag goes down. The pass was intended for Lance Moore, and 3 flags are thrown right where the contact was made.
We're seeing early on Sean Payton and this New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees.
Defense, number 41. First and 10.
That's Captain Munnerlyn.
New Orleans.
Captain Munnerlyn, and he hooks him with that right arm. Good call. But this Saints offense puts so much pressure on you. They challenge you downfield. They challenge you with the run. They're attacking here today down the field. And they're going down the middle part of the field. Drew Brees is and has had a lot of success.
So Darren Sproles remains in the backfield. It is a first down on the 11, and the handoff is to Sproles, but this time the hole closed up and a loss of 1 yard on the play. There's the red zone offense, 20th in the NFL. So obviously when you have Drew Brees, obviously with his passing ability and all those runners, you got to get touchdowns.
And he wasn't happy. He talked about Jacksonville last week, 500 yards, 50% on third down. He said, to me, that's 40 points. We went down there 3 times in the second half and came out with no touchdowns. We've got to fix that. He thought it was little things. They've gotten in once here today.
Second down and 10. Here comes the pressure, and the pass is caught by Jimmy Graham, the tight end who you talked about, who has really emerged as a star, and Darius Butler made sure he didn't get away, but a pickup of 6 down to the 5.
You watch Jimmy Graham right here. Here's the matchup nightmare that a guy like this presents to yourself. You try to cover him with a corner because linebackers aren't fast enough, and then he just boxes out. An old basketball player boxes out Darius Butler. Easy completion for Drew Brees.
Third down and 4, and the Saints spread out their offense with Pierre Thomas in the game. And there is the fade pattern, and it's knocked away. Charles Godfrey defending Jimmy Graham just like you would in the post in a basketball game, and deflected it away.
And Drew Brees not happy with Jimmy Graham right here because he feels like every time he throws it to him, it should be a touchdown. But just great defense by Charles Godfrey. You see the physical presence of Jimmy Graham. Godfrey hangs in there, gets his hand up. Good clean play by Charles Godfrey.
And that is a huge stop by the Panthers, John, on what could have been a rolling ball that wasn't going to stop today. John Casey with a 23-yard attempt. And the kick is good, and the Saints lead 10-0. It could have been worse for Carolina. So Casey coming back after 16 years, and Sean Payton's Saints have a 10-0 lead.
Your own team. When you're facing your own team, you do everything. Not only try to catch balls, but you're coaching the defense. And Dick, we were out at practice on Friday, and Jeremy Shockey, you would have thought he was the defensive coordinator. Hey, that's Sproles, 43. You got to cover that guy. You got to cover that guy. And Ron Rivera said, Jeremy, we've got the defense. You take care of the offense. I love it, though.
He is primed for this game. So a 10-0 lead for the Saints. And there is Polaris, who is back to return the kick. He was a 5th-round draft choice. And the Panthers, who have lost by 7, 6, and 5 points in their 4 games. And they 3 common opponents in Green Bay, Jacksonville, and Chicago for both the Saints and the Panthers. Again, deep and out of the end zone for Thomas Morstead. And so the Panthers will take over again now in a 10-0 hole. And Cam Newton trying to engineer an offense here. That's Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator of the Saints, and he relishes going against rookie and inexperienced quarterbacks. He lives for this.
He does. He does. And he's got a tremendous amount of respect for Cam Newton, though. Much like my thoughts on Cam Newton, he said, John, he's much better than I ever thought he was. He's stacking the line of scrimmage with Roman Harper up there right now.
First down, play action, and they swing it out to Legadou Nene, and Nene picks it up 5 yards to the 25-yard line. Well, the Saints have had success against rookie quarterbacks, and today again so far.
Yeah, 6-3, only allowing 3 touchdown passes. Now 16 interceptions since 2009. Greg Williams and this New Orleans defense feasts on rookie quarterbacks. We'll see if Cam Newton can adjust to that and have some success.
And get into some rhythm. Hand off to D'Angelo Williams. And Williams, no gain on the play as he stopped in his tracks by O'Brien Franklin. Cameron Jordan and Sean Rogers started up front defensively, but you know that McBride and Franklin will come in there, and a whole host of defensive linemen.
Well, you watch the New Orleans Saints play, and you better be prepared to see a lot of different players. They throw multiple packages. Greg Williams, said we've got 36 different packages we're going to show Cam here today, and they're using a lot early.
He's getting an education against this defense by Williams. 3rd down and 5. And a timeout is called by Carolina. So that's not surprising, seeing a look that you may not be familiar with.
Charge timeout, Carolina.
And not a bad idea. You don't like the look. You've struggled with rhythm. Ball security is such of a premium, and converting 3rd downs is so big. So take the timeout, talk it out. You talk about building around Cam Newton. They had to go get their franchise quarterback. They got him in Cam Newton. What you already had was a veteran offensive line. Kept everybody there. You had to retain Steve Smith. Remember, he was unhappy. He wanted out of here. D'Angelo Williams was a free agent. Then you needed to go get some playmakers, and I loved what they did there. You go get 2 tight ends for, tight ends are security blankets. You can throw balls that don't have to be perfect because they've got big catching radiuses. And I love what they did building around Cam Newton.
Particularly Greg Olsen. Olsen, a lot of people thought was the best receiver, pure receiver the Bears had.
A lot of people question, why would Chicago let a guy like that go? I know the tight end's not big in Mike Martz's offense, but as Greg Williams told us, Greg Olsen, all he is a receiver in the tight end number. It's really what he is a wide receiver. But I like what they've done building around Cam Newton. And you had to go get a quarterback. Everyone thought it would be Andrew Luck, but you look around this division, Josh Freeman down in Tampa, Matt Ryan in Atlanta, Drew Brees in New Orleans. You better go get yourself one to compete with those guys.
Well, they had to go to plan B, and Cam Newton may not be a bad plan B for the Panthers. So the timeout called by Carolina. It'll be 3rd down and 5 on their 25-yard line with just under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter, trying to give this crowd on a gorgeous afternoon, temperatures just about at 70, something to cheer for. Now, these teams have played tight games throughout the years, but the turnover really is a huge aspect of why the Saints have this lead.
It is, and I think that is going to be the story of this game. Who protects the football the best here today? And in a big 3rd down situation, this is where it can be tough on rookie quarterbacks. Defensive coordinators throw their best stuff at you on 3rd down.
2 tight ends, Olsen and Shockey, are both in the lineup. Newton has time, and he completes the pass to Nene. Great protection for Cam Newton, and a gain of 23 yards to Legadou Nene to the 47.
Well, excellent job. They're going to show the pressure with Shanley. They're going to drop him out. Cam Newton realizes, understands he's going to have time, stands tall in the pocket, surveys the field, then delivers a strike. This guy has tremendous arm strength. He's been a much better pocket passer than people thought coming into this league.
First down. A lot of people love, if you're Carolina, after the timeout to get something out and end around to Steve Smith. Steve Smith, and a flag goes down, and Steve Smith is knocked out of bounds at the 38-yard line. It would be a 15-yard gain pending the penalty.
They're going to get holding on Legadou Nene. He was out there on the corner.
Holding, number 17.
Exactly right.
Offense, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Well, that nullifies that gain, and they're going to move it back into Carolina territory. 2 nifty plays, but this one nullified by the holding call.
I like that. Sometimes you got to get a quarterback into rhythm. He's struggling throwing the football early. Get your playmakers involved. Get the ball to Steve Smith.
Here's Ron Rivera in his first year, and one of the factors in naming him as a coach is that his ego was such that he wasn't going to be necessarily a dictator. It's my way or no way in a collaborative fashion, especially on offense. He has that defensive mentality. Here's the pass. It's tipped and incomplete. And it was tipped by Scott Shanley. And right now, a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers trying to hold their own against the Tennessee Titans. Ben Roethlisberger hooking up with Heath Miller for the first time this year. Miller with a touchdown. That gives the Steelers a 7-3 lead. Dick, John?
Kurt, I love it. Mike Tomlin, you can only have 14 padded practices throughout a whole season with the new collective bargaining deal. He did 2 this week. He wanted his team to get back to Pittsburgh Steelers football.
2nd down and 20 after the incompletion. And here's Newton. And the pass is caught at the 45 and down by the Saints after a 9-yard gain. That was Greg Olsen. And it was Scott Shanley, the linebacker, defending Olsen, who came in, tied for the 2nd leading receiver behind Steve Smith on this team. So that will bring up 3rd down and 11.
A nice job by the New Orleans Saints defense. You've got them in 2nd and long. Keep the ball in front of you. Come up, make a good solid tackle. You put them in a 3rd and 11 situation. Showing a lot of pressure here.
Newton in trouble on the run. And it's caught. Steve Smith will score. A fight is going on in the end zone, and Cam Newton has run all the way in there with the entire offense and defensive teams. Flags have been down.
And this is division football. NFC South, these teams don't like each other. Steve Smith, the fiery guy. Roman Harper and he got into it.
This is not pretty, but I'll tell you what is pretty. The throw and the catch, especially the catch.
But his ability to extend plays, it's not there. They give him a different look. He extends the play, and if you're in trouble, give the ball to Steve Smith. What an outstanding catch by Steve Smith. Going up high to get the ball from Jabari Greer.
Personal foul. Late hit. Number 41. That penalty will be assessed.
And they call Roman Harper for the late hit. And that'll be marked off on the next kickoff. So what a play. Steve Smith battling Jabari Greer for the ball and a 54-yard touchdown. And it looked like the Saints very nearly got to Cam Newton before he unleashed that pass.
That was a cheap shot by Roman Harper. Good for the Carolina Panthers for standing up. It's division football. You got to love it.
Orlando Mare, and the kick is blocked. The extra point is blocked by Patrick Robinson. So the score is 10-6, and that is a big play.
The Panthers, those points are critical. The Panthers had a field goal blocked by last week. When you talk about elevation, look at Steve Smith. Steve Smith at 5'9". Look at the elevation. Look at the vertical leap to go get that ball. And then you're going to get the ball. That's not enough. I'm going to throw Jabari Greer, and then I'm going to go score a touchdown. What a play by Steve Smith.
And for Steve Smith, that is his 3rd touchdown catch of the year. And Cam Newton was 4 for 5 for 90 yards. Talk about Steve Smith. And what a comeback year for him. How excited has he been with Cam Newton on the scene and showing the kind of play he had shown in previous seasons.
I talked to Steve Smith the other day at practice, and he said, I'm all in, baby. You know, he was a lot of talk. He wanted out of Carolina. He was very frustrated with the direction. He met Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera sold the way he's going to do things. They got Cam Newton, and he said, John, I'm all in, and I'm loving every bit of it. And he should, playing like that.
He has his swagger back, no question about that, after a couple of tough years when the Panthers offense was non-existent. So it is 10-6, and that extra point, and it's still early, does hurt because Carolina could have come within a field goal. So Orlando Mare kicking off. And long one, and they'll take it out on the 20. Well, this November, Fox Sports steps into the octagon with an epic heavyweight title fight as the #1 ranked contender in the world, Junior Dos Santos, squares off with undefeated world champion Cain Velasquez in the must-see live event you can only catch on Fox. Dos Santos versus Velasquez for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World live Saturday, November 12th on Fox.
A little brawling out here thus far. They're trying to turn this into an MMA match.
Hey, it's 3-1 against 1-3, and the way they were going at it in the end zone, you thought this was for the division title. From the 20-yard line, fake handoff to Pierre Thomas, and the pass knocked away, intended for Jimmy Graham, and that was Chris Gamble with a textbook play downfield. Second down coming up.
Chris Gamble out last week with a concussion. This is just good recovery speed. Jimmy Graham breaking open. Watch Chris Gamble. Never play Jimmy Graham. Play the football. Get your hand on it. Outstanding play by Chris Gamble.
Second down and 10, and if nothing else, the crowd very much back into this game after that turnover early and a 10-0 Saints lead. There is the slant, and the pass is caught by Lance Moore, and it was Captain Munderland on the coverage, and a pickup of 6.
Dick, I don't know if, I'm kind of seeing a little setup here. All week long, Sean Payton bragged on how good Captain Munderland's playing. You know what he's doing? He's going after him every time he can.
Proving to
targeted him. Yeah.
Omar Gaither, who started at linebacker for the Panthers, in there now. There's Captain Munderland. Let's see how much they will go at him. Third down and 4. Breeze. And Graham with the catch goes out of bounds, and a first down to the 44-yard line. Darius Butler defending against Jimmy Graham. And how quickly has he emerged as a premier tight end?
No, it's exceptional, but you watch, helps to have Drew Brees at the quarterback. Always getting them in the right play. He knows he's got a matchup out there he likes. Look at the size difference. And here's those basketball skills again. Drew Brees said, this guy's never covered because I know there's a place I can throw it, and the DB doesn't have a chance. Outstanding throw and catch.
And the handoff to Mark Ingram. And Ingram with a good gain to midfield. Flag is down. Sione Fua making the tackle. 6-yard pickup.
The tempo that Drew Brees is operating at just caught the Panthers with 12 guys on the field.
12 men on the field. Defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Doesn't take the Saints long to march down the field, and the first down at the 49-yard line. Ingram, who gained 6 on the last play, remains in the game at tailback. Throwing this time, and has time, and beating the defender downfield, but the pass off the mark. Lance Moore had beaten the defense downfield, and the pass is incomplete, and rarely do you see Brees miss.
You don't see that much. First of all, let's watch Mark Ingram. Outstanding job off the play action fake of picking up the blitz. Drew Brees has time. You will not see this much. Lance Moore with separation. Drew Brees just a little bit off. It's a rare sight.
Second down and 5. Pierre Thomas trying to charge up the middle, and Thomas gets to within a couple of yards of the first down and into Panther territory, picking up 3 yards with under a minute to play in the first quarter. Sean Payton's Saints capitalizing on an interception and a touchdown from 1 yard. The pass from Brees to Collins. Now the Saints with a 3rd and 1, 3 for 4 in third down conversions so far.
A tough third down team. Came in second ranked in the league in third down efficiency.
Here's Sproles, and he doesn't make it. Will lose a yard on the play. Big time defense led by Carl McLean, the rookie from South Florida, and 4th down coming up, and the Saints will have time to think about what they may want to do as the clock will run out, ending this first quarter. And even though they're almost at midfield, who knows what Sean Payton may wind up. That is the end of the first quarter, with the Saints leading the Panthers 10-6. The punt by Morstead. And the return by Armani Edwards. The Saints, here's how magnificent they've been. They've allowed only a total of 10 punt return yards in 4 games. The longest has been 5. And the return was 9. Let's take a look at the numbers of the first quarter of what we expect to be a high-scoring game.
Absolutely. Started a little rough for Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Drew Brees capitalized on the mistakes. Cam Newton starting to get in a rhythm. Steve Smith helping out his cause, making an outstanding play.
Panthers ball, first down on the 23. The Saints punting with a 4th down, not taking any chances, and the handoff to D'Angelo Williams. And Williams picking up a couple.
We've seen D'Angelo Williams have a lot of success thus far today and really got it going last week versus the Chicago Bears. At 82 yards on 10 carries, only 61 going into the Chicago game. Rob Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator, said, you know, without the lockout, I didn't know really what fit my players best, what D'Angelo did well, what Jonathan Stewart did well. He's starting to figure it out in this Panthers run game.
They have both gained just about the same amount of yards in the first 4 games of the season. Here's Cam Newton going up the middle and no one there. The pass is incomplete and gets knocked down. The crowd is looking for a roughing the passer penalty, but none coming as Jonathan Vilma, the middle linebacker, came in strong on Cam Newton.
We told you it was coming. Greg Williams told us it was coming. And he's bringing pressure from everywhere, and Cam Newton needs to be careful, get this ball out of his hands. But the thing you start to see is Cam Newton said, they're going to bring that pressure. There's going to be some one-on-one situations out there. Can the Panthers take advantage of them? I'd be looking for number 89, Steve Smith, every time they bring pressure.
3rd down and 8. And there is Steve Smith. And Cam Newton not looking his way, gets into trouble, and down he goes at the 19. And it was Abreu Franklin with the first sack of the game for the Saints.
You watch the pocket collapse. Ample time for Cam Newton, but that's a coverage sack. Ball comes out. Cam Newton lucky to fall on that football. Will Smith, Abreu Franklin there. Coverage sack. Great coverage by the New Orleans Saints defense.
Jason Baker will be kicking, and the dangerous Darren Sproles is back deep. Sproles has scored a touchdown on special teams, and as a receiver and as a runner. Flag goes down, and the punt received by Sproles, who was tripped up at the 26, but a penalty marker was thrown in the area of where Sproles returned. Pretty good kick by Baker of 53 yards.
I think his coach would agree a little.
During the kick, holding number 28 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. 1st and 10. Timeout on the field. Correction. The number is 27.
Look at Carolina getting tough in here for Cam Newton. Great football game on our hands in Carolina.
Is sponsored by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By the Droid Bionic, made from machines to rule all machines, only at Verizon. And by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
And welcome back. A beautiful day here at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Dick Stockton, along with John Lynch. And Jennifer Hale is down there as well as the 3rd member of our team. The Saints leading 10-6. The touchdown and the blocked extra point. And as a result of that 53-yard punt and the 10-yard penalty, that's a net 63, and that will force the Saints to start from their 14.
It's a great job of field position. And remember, the Panthers probably lost the game against Chicago last week on special teams and special teams alone. Devin Hester absolutely killed them.
So Drew Brees, who has completed 7 of 10 for 71 yards and a touchdown pass, handing off to Darren Sproles off the left side. And Sproles is tackled by Dan Connor, the middle linebacker. 6-yard gain. Game break, Kurt Menefee.
Seattle Seahawks going in beast mode already. Marshawn Lynch, 47 yards on this run against the Giants. Knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line. The next play, he took it in from a yard out. And the Seahawks have a lead in the new Meadowlands, 14-7. Dick and Judd.
Wow, shocker early, but it's early. 2nd down and 3. Breeze. No flag down, and they were looking all the way. Darren Sproles was the intended receiver. And the coverage downfield by the middle linebacker, Omar Gaither.
One of the things that Sean Payton does is he just probes matchups, and this matchup is a favorable one. Even though it didn't work out, when you have Darren Sproles on Omar Gaither, they like that matchup. Sean Payton constantly trying to find those matchup nightmares for the Carolina defense.
Gaither, who played for the Eagles, now with the Saints. And a 3rd down and 3. Pierre Thomas checks in as the back. And a flag is down.
Number 73, offense.
And
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Jari Evans, the right guard, called for the 5-yard penalty, so that will bring up 3rd and 8. There's a difference there. Maybe not for Breeze, but it should be a little significant.
Well, you see the crowd noise get to Jari Evans. He knows pressure's coming. I'd say it's a good thing because typically you put someone in 3rd and long, it's a good thing. But the New Orleans Saints converted a 50% rate on 3rd and 6+. Unbelievable what they have done on 3rd down, and it all centers around Drew Brees.
I was going to say, what difference does it make to him? So it's 3rd and 8. Sproles is in the lineup along with Pierre Thomas. 3rd down and 8. Plenty of time here, and the pass is caught, and a 1st down shy of the 30. Marcus Colston has made 2 superb catches today. Sherrod Martin making the stop, and they pick up 13.
When you look at this, it's going to be a 3-man rush. They're trying to drop 8 into coverage for Carolina, but Drew Brees is going to have all day to throw, and when he has all day, he's going to find someone. Is it Colston? Is it Pierre Thomas? Colston works the zone. That's what Drew Brees does to you. It's hard to get off the field against the New Orleans Saints.
Colston has 2 catches, has averaged 17.5. So he's been their big gainer. Mark Ingram is in there at running back, and Ingram spins his way to the 33, where James Anderson makes the tackle. A pickup of 4 with 3 minutes gone by here in the 2nd quarter. Saints lead the Panthers 10-6 after New Orleans took a 10-0 lead.
You look at the New Orleans Saints, you're going to see a lot of different guys at the running back position. Pierre Thomas, 5 yards a carry today. Darren Sproles, Mr. Everything, all-purpose. And Mark Ingram, he's the leading rusher on this team, the Heisman Trophy winner out of Alabama.
How do you keep them all happy? That's a nice problem. 2nd down and 6 for Breeze, and his pass caught and in stride. Lance Moore with a 1st down at the 46. Captain Munnerlyn on the coverage, and 13 more yards.
You see Lance Moore coming in motion. He's going to drag underneath, and Drew Brees is going to deliver just a perfect strike. I mean, all he's got to do is put up his hands. Drew Brees got time. He's going to find his wide receivers, and he'll find a lot of them, continuing to go after Captain Munnerlyn here today.
John, it doesn't take long for Brees to get the team to midfield, and then Moore. This is quite an offense. 1st down pass caught by Meacham, and he is knocked out of bounds. Another 1st down for the Saints to the 41 of the Panthers. Butler on the coverage there. Another man producing for the Saints.
Well, another 1st down to another receiver, but it all starts with protection. You give a little play action fake. You sit back, you give Drew Brees that much time, that much space, he will pick you apart. And this is just perfect mechanics. Look at the feet. Ball always cocked, ready to go. That's why I say it's artistry watching this guy play the position.
They don't waste much time in the huddle. There's the handoff to Pierre Thomas, and Thomas gets a couple of yards. How about this for Drew Brees down today? He has thrown a touchdown pass in his 32nd consecutive games. He has thrown 20 completions in a game in 24 consecutive contests, which is the longest streak in NFL history.
What more can you say about the guy? And I think perfect marriage between he and Sean Payton. He was really good in San Diego. He's great. He's elite out here in New Orleans, along with Sean Payton.
Last 5 years, you see the numbers. Thomas and one of the Saints losing his helmet after a gain of 2 yards as Sione Fua, a rookie from Stanford. So I saw you two guys talking on the field before the game.
He's a great player. All of them from Stanford are now, but he is a very good player. They have high hopes for him here in the middle. Two rookies in the middle of this.
Thanks for being humble.
Like those Syracuse guys.
Yeah. Let's not put the two together yet. 3rd down and 7. And a delay out there. And for good reason. The Saints call a timeout. It'll be their first with 9:09 remaining in the first half. 4-point lead for New Orleans. Already we have had so much emotion in this game, and what do you expect in an NFC South battle? First division game for both of these teams, and it shows. They remember that they play these teams home and home each year, and that's what's going on here as the 3-1 Saints battling the 1-3 Panthers, who are looking to regain their footing after a couple of slow years. It's 10-6, the Saints lead. It'll be 3rd down and 7 after the first timeout called by New Orleans.
You look at Drew Brees on 3rd down. This is where this guy thrives. How about that? Almost 74% completions on 3rd down. It's unbelievable.
3rd down and 7 on the 38. Panther fans looking for a stop here, and there's the pass. It's caught, and it'll be a first down. Breaking away is Jimmy Graham. And Graham gets down to about the 10-yard line. We'll see where the official marking is. Jordan Pugh finally tackles him after a pickup of 26.
Okay, it's all about protection again. Darren Sproles stepping up. All right, you've tried a corner on him. Let's try a safety. And Jimmy Graham says, get off me. Drew Brees delivers the ball. Get off me, Charles Godfrey. The strength, the speed. This guy is an emerging player, emerging star in this league.
Career high 10 catches for 132 yards last week. Caught his first NFL touchdown pass in this stadium last year. At false start.
71. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Charles Brown, who is playing right tackle in place of the injured Zach Streif, called for the penalty.
Now, this is absolutely huge for Carolina. Got a 10-6 game right now. You keep them to a field goal, but you got a touchdown game. It's hard to make up points against the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints, we want to go for the jugular right here. Stick it in the end zone.
And here is Ingram. And Ingram powering his way on 1st down and 15. James Anderson, the strong side linebacker, limits Ingram to 3.
When you watch the New Orleans Saints, I mean, it's just mental stress on a defense. Constantly new personnel and new packages. From those packages, they do so many different things. It's a draining game defensively for Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers.
John Gilmore comes in as a second tight end. You saw Robert Meacham as well, number 17. And here is Brees, pump fakes over the middle, finds Ingram, and Ingram gets down to about the 6. And that will bring up 3rd and short for the Saints after an 8-yard gain. Good ad-libbing by Drew Brees there.
You talk about ad-libbing. Going to motion his fullback Jed Collins. You motion by, you typically try to hit Meacham in the seam. He pumps downfield. It's not there. He dumps it off to Mark Ingram. Positive yards. Puts him in a good 3rd down situation.
So the Saints already in real good field goal range. Now 3rd down and 3. Looking for the touchdown. And finally a timeout. You see Brees not happy with having to call that second timeout of this first half. And we'll take a break.
This is the second.
The Saints trying to get it in again for their second score. We'll be right back.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
Saints have called their second timeout. They are 5 for 7 on 3rd down conversions. 2 for 2 on this drive. It'll be 3rd down and 3 on the Panthers 6.
And Dick, whatever Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, his best stuff, you got to bring it right now. This is a critical 3rd down in this game.
Quick toss, and they're going to stop the big tight end, Charles Godfrey, envelops Jimmy Graham. And let's see where they marked the ball. They needed 3 yards. And they appear to have the first down. Just barely. It'll be 1st and goal.
You see Jimmy Graham right there. Real simple. You want to play off? I'm just going to dump it to him and then let the big guy fight for the first down. Jimmy Graham, you see the problems he presents for a defense. That's good tackling by Charles Godfrey. You can't give him that much space, though.
And he spun toward the sideline and just got enough for the first down. 1st and goal from the 2. Mark Ingram getting the call. Diving in. No signal yet, and he did not get over. He was stopped shy of the goal line by Omar Gaither.
Carolina Panthers are playing better run defense today. But all these backs, in particular Mark Ingram, they're always going to keep their legs moving. Let's see where that knee is. Knee down. Good call by the official, spotting it on the 1-yard line.
2nd and goal inside the 1. Ingram stays in the game. Here's Ingram. Dives in for the touchdown. So Mark Ingram going in for the score. That is his 2nd touchdown of the season. Came in the game as the leading rusher for the Saints, who have increased their lead now to 16-6.
You watch it right here. Carl Nix, the guard. They're going to get behind him, and Bushrod, the left tackle. Great block by Bushrod. That's easy running for Mark Ingram, the rookie out of Alabama.
Of the offense, taunting, invading an opponent. That penalty will be assessed on the next kickoff.
So Mark Ingram called for taunting after he scores the touchdown. And that'll be marked off on the kickoff. John Casey is in to attempt the extra point. Very impressive drive by the Saints. 86 yards on 14 plays. And they chewed up 8 minutes of the clock. The extra point is good. And the Saints lead 17-6. With just under 5.5 to go in the first half.
Well, tremendous job by Mark Ingram scoring the touchdown. But you can't do this. This is taunting. They're going to call it all day long. He's right in the guy's face, and it's classless. And it hurts your team. Now all of a sudden field position, 15 yards difference. We'll see if Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers offense can capitalize.
And Morstead, who kicked the last 2 out of the end zone, can't this time. And Polaris can return it for Carolina. And he brings it out past the 30-yard line. So that penalty, don't know what the result will be, hurt the team initially.
And you watch it again. Gamble's going to get up, and you can't do it. It's you know, these division rivalries, as we've talked, another flag's going down. This is a division rivalry, but you can't let it be personal, because you will hurt your team. And now Carolina just got an unsportsmanlike, and it's going to take away the field position they just gained.
Yeah, bad discipline on both these teams.
Bad discipline.
You can talk about a divisional game. There are a lot of those going on in every division in football.
Play between the whistles. That's when you're tough, between the whistles, not afterwards.
There's John Parry.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 38, Carolina, 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10, Carolina.
I think it was 36, Jamel Hines, who was just added to the active roster.
Not a good way to endear yourself to your new head coach. They bring him in for special teams, and on special teams, he just gives back a lot of valuable real estate in terms of field position.
So they lost some yardage here based on this penalty.
You know, a lot of stuff happens under those piles. But
Both
you
teams
just can't do it.
Both teams really undisciplined here, and that should be the first message in the locker at halftime. Here's Cam Newton's pass, and it's tipped away. Good play by Jonathan Vilma. And right now for a game break, let's check in again with Kurt Menefee.
How about Vic, picked by Nick for 6. Nick Barnett, 31-yard interception return for a score. Michael Vick has thrown 3 picks already in this ball game. And Buffalo cruising right now, 21-7, midway through the second quarter. Dick and John, it's about to get ugly in Philly.
Stunning.
I guess Michael Strahan, they didn't listen to him during the pregame show. He was supposed to have fixed the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, they still have time. They send D'Angelo Williams split to the left, and the quick toss to the right is caught by Steve Smith. And Smith out of bounds at the 24, pickup of 6 yards. Stopping the clock with 5:09 remaining in the first half. 11-point lead by the Saints, and remember, an extra point attempt was blocked by New Orleans.
A critical third down here for the Carolina Panthers. You do not want to get behind the New Orleans Saints because they'll continue to attack. A tough team to deal with. They can run the football as well. Big third down for Cam Newton.
Got to get it to the 29-yard line for Carolina, otherwise they'll have to punt. And it's going to be Cam Newton running, and Cam Newton getting the first down. Newton the first down to the 31, picking up 5 yards. Will Smith making the tackle, so there is Newton using his legs for the first down.
And one of the things Rob Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, did to keep Cam Newton comfortable was include some of the plays from Auburn University. That's a play. And then look at Steve Smith. He's catching the ball. He makes the key block to get the first down for Cam Newton. Cam Newton, a weapon as a runner and as a passer.
And he has scored 4 touchdowns and averaged 4 yards per carry. First down at the 31. And there's the pitch to D'Angelo Williams. Williams into Saints territory. Touchdown! And the block by Legadou Nane. Downfield and a 69-yard touchdown on the pitch from Cam Newton for D'Angelo Williams.
Well, who said the option doesn't work in the NFL? Because Cam Newton and D'Angelo Williams just made it look pretty good. You get the football in D'Angelo Williams' hands in space, this guy can do damage. The threat of Cam Newton as a runner, they react to him. Touchdown, D'Angelo Williams.
Olindo Mare adds the extra point. So the Carolina Panthers, they are a different offensive team than they have been. And Cam Newton starts it all, but this time it was D'Angelo Williams with a brilliant 69-yard run. And once again, the Saints lead is 4. Before the game, here's D'Angelo Williams. Let's pick it up.
This game, baby, to have fun. To all you survivors out there, we pulling for you, we fighting for you, we surviving for you. Just remember, it's not about you, it's not about us, but it's about we, baby. As a community, as a world, as one nation, we're gonna keep fighting to find a cure for this disease.
Well put by D'Angelo Williams on breast cancer awareness and wearing the pink cap. I want to remind you to join the NFL's Crucial Catch campaign in the fight against breast cancer. Visit NFL.com/auction to bid now on authentic, game-worn NFL pink products like the thing on top that D'Angelo Williams is wearing. All proceeds benefit the American Cancer Society. What's that thing called?
I don't know what it's called, but I'm good for D'Angelo Williams, and what a story and what a contribution the NFL has made in terms of trying to find a cure for that disease. Roger Goodell, kudos to him. You'll see that pink all month throughout the NFL.
Mare kicks it out of the end zone, and the Saints will get it at the 20. And right now, let's send it down to Jennifer Hale, third member of our team. Jennifer.
Well, guys, this Crucial Catch campaign is the brainchild of D'Angelo Williams. He's the one who pitched the idea to Commissioner Roger Goodell. He's lost his grandmother and 4 aunts to breast cancer, the youngest aunt just 3 months ago. His mother, Sandra, is the only breast cancer survivor in his family. She's here today, certainly cheering on her son right now. Guys?
All right, Jennifer, thank you very much. And today, D'Angelo Williams scoring his first touchdown of the year. And a 17-13 game, and this high-octane offensive contest materializing here with 3:47 remaining in the first half. Pass complete up the middle to Devery Henderson, and Henderson has enough for the first down. Jason Williams making the tackle, and Henderson limited in practice this week with a calf injury.
You want to know what makes Drew Brees so tough to deal with? Look at the ball placement on this. You're going to see Devery Henderson sit in the zone. Defenders to his right side, you throw to the left side, and then that allows the yards after the catch. That's right out of the Bill Walsh playbook in terms of placing the football. Drew Brees does it better than anybody in this league.
From the 31, play action. Brees drills it, and the pass incomplete. Intended for Colston. And Darius Butler right in the middle of it, bringing up 2nd and 10.
On that play, they had Jimmy Graham motion into the backfield. They had him on a wheel route. Wasn't there, but that's a play. They like to set up shots for Jimmy Graham. Look for them to come back to that later.
Colston leaves the game.
Shaking off the cobwebs.
Here's Darren Sproles, who's back there with Brees, 2nd and 10. Fakes and does hand off to Sproles. And chasing him was James Anderson. Going around the left side, and a pickup of 8 yards. Stops the clock with 2:56 remaining. The Saints have 1 timeout remaining, and the Panthers have 2.
Look at the total yards, very similar. But Carolina gets the big score. Now you got a big problem. How are you going to stop Drew Brees and Darren Sproles? And Sproles has been such a great addition. You know, everybody, with all due respect to Reggie Bush, everyone on either side feels what an upgrade for the New Orleans Saints. He's made this offense even more explosive.
3rd down and 1, and here is Sproles. And Sproles getting the first down all the way up to the 46, where Godfrey makes the tackle. And John, the addition of Sproles along with Mark Ingram, 2 big additions to this offense.
And what Sean Payton said about Darren Sproles is, listen, I knew this guy was a fantastic player, an all-around player. I didn't know he was this good of a runner. And those kind of runs that they just ran right up the middle, he didn't know Darren Sproles had that in him. He's learned it, and he's loving using his new toy.
Sproles himself says, great to be back having fun. This may be the last play before the 2-minute warning. And Brees goes down, and that'll be the first sack of the game. Captain Munnerlyn coming in from his cornerback position, a loss of 6 yards, and this NFC South battle has picked up. 2-minute warning here in Carolina with the score 17-13, the Saints. 1:58 remaining in the first half here at Bank of America Stadium. Dick Stockton along with John Lynch and Jennifer Hale. Saints leading 17-13, and a good point made by you is that the big issue right now is, can the Panthers just slow up the Saints? It looks like Carolina can move the ball against New Orleans. 2nd down and 16. Flip out to Darren Sproles, and Sproles is tackled. Still will need 11 yards for the first down. Greg Hardy making the tackle.
Tremendous hustle play by Greg Hardy. The Saints and Drew Brees do such a good job of getting into the right play. They see the blitz coming, quick screen to Darren Sproles, but Greg Hardy, just pure hustle, out to make the tackle and put New Orleans Saints and Drew Brees in a tough 3rd down situation.
You said the Saints coming in number 2 in 3rd down conversions, 7 for 9 in the game, including their last 4. But they need 11 yards here.
This is where Drew Brees is a surgeon. He'll dissect your defense.
Brees getting pressure, and the pass caught, and looks like he has enough for the first down. Lance Moore held onto it with Chris Gamble all over him. A terrific catch, and they get 12 yards for the first down.
And Dick, you almost think, what can you do as a defense? Look at that ball placement. That again, the receiver, the defenders to the right side, throw it to the left side. Matter of inches, but Drew Brees is that precise as a quarterback.
And they're on the 44 of Carolina. And the pass knocked down. Graham, the intended receiver. Saints looking for a flag, none coming. And it was Charles Godfrey who toughed it out with Jimmy Graham.
And Charles Godfrey, it looks to me like that's maybe the matchup that favors the Panthers against Jimmy Graham, or at least can hold up a little bit. The corners aren't big enough. Godfrey doing a nice job on him.
Very physical. Lined up with him again. 2nd down and 10 at the 44. They bring in Pierre Thomas to the Saints at tailback. 42 seconds left on the clock. And here's Breeze. Drills it. Caught by Robert Meacham. And he'll have a first down to the 30. And Casey. Let's find the 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. And right now, for a preview of what's coming up at halftime on Fox, here's Kurt Menefee. Second down and 10 from the 30. Kurt, we'll get to you, baby. 2nd down and 10s. 3 wide receivers and Sproles, and here's Breeze, goes down back at the 40, and it was Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy with his 3rd sack of the season, and a timeout called by the Saints.
Watch this right here. Looks like Godfrey's covering him alone, but watch Jordan Pugh drop out underneath Jimmy Graham, who Drew Brees wanted, and Greg Hardy gives him time to get the sack, but Drew Brees always thinking, gets right to that timeout as soon as he can.
No timeouts left and a 10-yard loss, and this is huge because it takes the Saints out of field goal range right now with 18 seconds on the clock in the half. And the ball spotted at the 40. Well, right now it would be a 53-yard or more. It would be a 57-yard attempt.
Casey has hit from 53 this year, so run a couple yards if you're the New Orleans Saints. Problem is, if you're the Carolina Panthers, you're just thinking, I don't want him to get a first down because Drew Brees has been so good on 3rd and longs.
3rd down and 20. Back at the 40. And the pass caught by Sproles. And there is Sproles, and he picks up good yardage to set up at least a field goal. Anderson making the tackle. Here comes Casey. No timeouts left. 5 seconds to go. It's going to be tough.
They didn't get it.
And that'll do it. That is the end of the first half. And now we'll have another personal foul penalty. And this game is, I don't want to go as far as to say out of hand, but it has really been a poor job of poise for both of these teams.
You're absolutely right. And Jimmy Graham goated Chris Gamble, but Chris Gamble's a veteran player. You can't do it. He throws a little blow. Jimmy Graham does take a dive.
What about the time left? Here's John Parry.
Prior to the snaps, Carolina called their 2nd timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 2 seconds. 0.2 seconds on the game clock. There is no foul on the play for a personal foul.
Why would the
Red flags have
Panthers
picked up.
call a timeout when it looked like there was no way Casey was going to get set to kick this field goal? They gave the Saints another chance.
I have no idea why they would call it. It was clear that the Saints were struggling to get the whole operation done in time. Why you would call a timeout, I have no idea. It looks like Ron Rivera is not too pleased.
Coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Michael, and Jimmy. And the Raiders playing today with a heavy heart with the passing of their founder, Al Davis. So now the Saints can get squared away for what would be a 46-yard field goal attempt by John Casey. 438 career field goals for John Casey. All of them but 9 for the Panthers.
We'll see what happens with this field goal, but that just, you can't do that. I don't know where that timeout, I didn't see it. I have no idea where that came from, but bad mistake for Carolina.
And Casey's kick is good. So the Panthers call a timeout, and the Saints are able to get 3 more on the board. And Sean Payton's Saints leading the Panthers at halftime 20-13 in an and welcome back to Charlotte, North Carolina. The team's coming back on the field with the Saints leading the Panthers by a score of 20-13, and they get a late field goal out of it, and it's been really a strange game in so many different ways, John.
And it's rearing its ugly head. It's an intense game, but you can't do the silly things. I hope both coaches talk to their teams about being disciplined. But the key is, how are the Carolina Panthers going to get Drew Brees off the field on 3rd down? He's been 8 of 11 in the first half. And then New Orleans Saints, they have to have an answer. We thought Cam Newton, but it's D'Angelo Williams that's been the story for the Carolina Panthers.
But it's amazing that the Panthers have shown that they're not totally stymied by Greg Williams' defense, that they could hang in there. They missed an extra point and a 3-point gift because a timeout was called at the end. But the Panthers are in this game. And
very much so, very much so. And you got to feel good about that, because New Orleans really has possessed the ball. They've dominated time of possession. But Carolina's shown that they can make some big plays. It centers around Cam Newton and D'Angelo Williams.
What numbers hit you as you take a look?
Well, you know, I think you look at that time of possession. Coming in, Carolina was a team that really dominated play of possession. The Saints are doing it today. You look at total yards, fairly even. I think this game's coming right down to the wire, if you ask me. I think it could be a real good division football game. Hopefully they clean up all the nonsense.
That would be a plus for the Carolina Panthers, who the last time that they played the Saints, they were beaten 34-3. They took a 3-0 lead and then 34 unanswered points. But Carolina, and of course Jeremy Shockey, who would badly love to have a win over his former team as we go to the 3rd quarter.
You think about the New Orleans Saints defense. First play of the game, Patrick Robinson with an interception. They need to continue to get in Cam Newton's head. There's that interception we talked about. Patrick Robinson got a gift thrown right to him. They've been pressuring Cam Newton, but I get the sense that Cam Newton is starting to figure this out and starting to play football. Greg Williams has to continue to show the young man different looks, because he's a difference maker.
Saints will get the ball first when we get this 3rd quarter underway. Want to remind you to follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Cam Newton, 6 of 11 for 100 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And Sproles with 7 catches. As Olindo Mare getting set to kick off, and Darren Sproles back deep for the Saints. So the Panthers defense is going to be on the spot again as we start this 2nd half. And this kick bounces out of the end zone. Saints will get it at the 20 as we check in again with Jennifer Hale.
Guys, Coach Ron Rivera told me that timeout at the end of the first half was because he was afraid he would have too many men on the field trying to get players on and off. He was worried about having 12. As far as the emotions of this game, that was his message to his team at halftime. He said he wanted to get control of his players. Coach Sean Payton emphasizing the same thing, urging his players to walk away from these emotional situations clean. Overall, though, Payton says he's happy with his squad's play. Guys?
I guess so, Jennifer. Thank you very much. And it's been that offense that's been tremendous. And as John pointed out, the key, their ability to convert on 3rd downs. So a first down at the 20 for the Saints, leading by 7. Brees' pass going up on top, and it is caught. It is caught on the deflection by Jimmy Graham, and he had Charles Godfrey with him all the way downfield, and Graham, great awareness, held on for a 30-yard pickup on 1st down.
And what else can Godfrey do? Actually, a great play by Godfrey to strip the ball, get the ball out of there, but Graham, tremendous concentration. I'm telling you, these basketball skills, that's going up for a rebound. It's soft hands, it's body position, and what concentration by this guy who's just burst on to the scene in the National Football League.
5 catches for 83 yards for Graham, and already the Saints are at midfield. Good pickup on the blitz, and now Breeze has to get it away. And I'll tell you, a great hustle by Jason Williams fighting off the blitz. Jed Collins had the good block, and the pass is incomplete, bringing up 2nd and 10.
Look at that last blitz. Jason Williams is going to bring the pressure. Nice job by Jed Collins taking his legs from under him, but good second effort by Jason Williams, excuse me.
2nd down and 10. Pressure on Breeze, and he has an open Darren Sproles. And Sproles makes the reception. They'll mark it close to 1st down yardage. Cam Newton getting stretched out for his first offensive foray. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Saints.
Sean Payton, you know, a lot of teams, most teams in this league come out with the script to start the game. He comes out with the script. They make adjustments at halftime. This is a scripted sequence.
3rd down and 1. Here's Ingram. 1st down for the Saints, and Ingram barreling his way inside the 35 and gets 8 yards before Greg Hardy brings him down. Good run by Mark Ingram, who has scored a touchdown.
Well, and it's great running by Mark Ingram, and that's what he's done so well this year. He follows his big guard, Jari Evans, but then he keeps his legs churning. That's what this guy does so well, and that's how you tell a division rival that you don't like him, by your play in between the whistle. Nice job by Mark Ingram.
It's Ingram again, and Ingram again with great straight-ahead running, getting to the 26. Captain Munnerlin that time, but another 8-yard pickup for Ingram.
Obvious by the play sequencing. They took the shot to Graham right away, but they saw something that they could be effective in the run game, running right between the tackles, and they're taking advantage of the Carolina defense right now.
Ingram, 6 carries, 26 yards, and replaced by Darren Sproles on 2nd down and 2. Here's Sproles. Look at that cut by Sproles as he gets a 1st down. Cutting inside to the 21, and another 1st down, a 4-yard pickup.
Sproles laughing because he just put one on his former teammate Antoine Applewhite from San Diego. You watch Applewhite here, and it helps to be 5'6" sometimes. You know, I'm sure many times in his life he wishes it was 6 foot, but right there he just made it real tough on Applewhite. Great run by Darren Sproles.
He's gained 45 yards, and the ball batted away, incomplete. Greg Hardy got a big hand on it. Pass was intended for Sproles, and it will bring up 2nd down and 10.
Greg Hardy's a good football player, Dick. You look at the strength of this Carolina defense. Probably would have been their linebackers with John Beeson and Thomas Davis. Those guys are both on IR for the year. And I think you asked Drew Brees, the strength is the edge rush. Hardy and Charles Johnson, good football players for the Carolina defense.
Haven't mentioned Charles Johnson's name, coming in with 4 sacks. 2nd down and 10 is Sproles, and he is tripped up as he gets inside the 20 by Jason Williams. So 3rd down coming up, picking up 3 yards.
Tough exchange for Drew Brees. Does a great job, and great job by Darren Sproles of turning that somehow into positive yards for the New Orleans Saints.
So the Saints are 9 for 12 on 3rd down conversions. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Brees dumps it off, and Pierre Thomas gets tripped up, and a loose ball. And they're going to say down by contact is Pierre Thomas. Darius Butler coming up from cornerback to make the play, and that will bring up 4th down, and the Saints will call on John Casey to add 3.
Pierre Thomas is hearing it from Sean Payton right now, because what a wonderful design. They bluff, they go to Darren Sproles on the pump, and look at wide open real estate for Pierre Thomas. He just loses his footing.
Casey kicked the field goal from 46 before intermission. This is a 37-yard attempt. John Casey's kick is good. His second field goal of the day against his former team. And the Saints now have opened their lead to 23-13.
Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Chase. Don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom. By Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
So the Saints picked up 61 yards before Casey's second field goal of the game. And that is Kealoha Polaris ready to return the kick if Thomas Morstead keeps it in the field. He has kicked it out of the end zone all but one time thus far. And that mark still goes. Panthers will go from the 20.
Well, the Panthers down 10, but they've got hope in Carolina because of that man, Cam Newton. Yes, we can. That's the slogan. We'll see.
Panthers have touchdowns on 2 of their last 3 possessions, but they have run 19 plays to 52 for the Saints, which reflects what John pointed out on the time of possession. First down at the 20, Cam Newton, 6 of 11 for 100 yards. D'Angelo Williams running up ahead. Hard to bring down, but Jonathan Vilma does it after a pickup of 6. Well, next Sunday, the NFL on Fox returns with a doubleheader beginning with the Panthers and the Falcons. Rams play the Packers. The 49ers tangle with the Lions and the Eagles and Redskins. And then it's America's Game of the Week. Cowboys and Patriots. Also the Saints and Buccaneers in another NFC South battle. The Built Ford Tough Box NFL Sunday pregame show begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Second down and 4. Here's Williams again. And Williams is stopped a couple of yards shy of the first down by Joe Lond Dunbar, who started for Will Herring this week at linebacker.
Yeah, part of the success that the Panthers are starting to have is the success of D'Angelo Williams. Tough to stop this guy for the New Orleans Saints right now. They take him out on third down. Jonathan Stewart comes in, but this is a manageable third down situation. 3rd and 3. Good situation for Cam Newton.
And D'Angelo Williams already with 109 yards, 16th career 100-yard game. First of this year. 3rd down and 3 with Stewart in there. And it's Stewart carrying and getting the first down. Jonathan Stewart. First carry of the game for Stewart, and he delivers.
Jonathan Stewart, a 240-pound man, and watch, this is just churning those legs. We talked about Mark Ingram doing it. He takes that pile with him. Good drive start for the Carolina Panthers, and you see the strength of Jonathan Stewart right there.
And because he got the first down, he gets to remain in the game. That's how it works. First down at the 31. Play action this time. Cam Newton has an open Jeremy Shockey, and Shockey picks up close to 8 yards with Jolon Dunbar covering, and there's Shockey with some words for his former teammates, but they're friendly words.
Well, you know, I'm talking about all the nonsense. Jeremy Shockey, that's him all the time. He never shuts up. You saw him coaching the defense earlier. But more than anything, what this guy is a tremendous competitor. That's why he's been a great football player in this league for the last 10 years.
Still talking about that reception of 22 yards against the Bears called back because of offensive pass interference. Second down and 2. And a mix-up, and Jonathan Stewart's going to lose yardage. Not much trickery there against the Saints defense, and Abreu Franklin just came in and said, here you are, and they lose 3.
Well, they're getting into a little bit of the spread package that they like to employ. Again, something Cam's very familiar with, what he did at Auburn, and there's a thread of Cam Newton always keeping the ball on that. Right there, he gave the ball to Stewart. Bad decision.
Now it's 3rd and 5. Carolina 4 of 6 in third down conversions. Saints have had 13 third down situations, and they've clicked on 9 of them. Cam Newton gets hit as he throws. And the pass is incomplete. That was Cedric Ellis.
They're going to get him roughing the passer.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 90, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Turk McBride and Cedric Ellis were in there, and it was McBride who gets called for roughing the passer.
Well, the mistakes and penalties continue for both sides. And you see Cam Newton. Well, I don't know. It's tough. That's tough. You know, they try to protect those quarterbacks, but I don't know what to tell you, Turk McBride.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sean Payton pleading his case, saying no way. But that's the call. Cam Newton has been sacked once. They've done a pretty good job of protecting him, though, John. First down on the St. 49. Play action for Newton. And the pass caught by Shockey and brought down at the 41, 2 yards short of the first down by Scott Shanley. An 8-yard pickup into St. territory, a little deeper this time for Carolina.
You know what they're really doing, New Orleans is really starting to double Steve Smith. So if he's not going to be there, if he's doubled up, you've got some great options at the tight end position with Jeremy Shockey and Greg Olsen. Cam Newton stands tall. He sees that Steve Smith's doubled, and then he delivers to Jeremy Shockey. As I said, I'd continue to feed this guy because he wants this one more than most.
Smith, by the way, you mentioned him, 2 catches for 60 yards. Second down and 1. And the whistle. Let's see whether Hangardner was drawn to make a move at the line by the defense.
I think a very veteran move. He saw movement from the defense, and he stood up and reacted.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 96, defense. The 5-yard penalty results. First down, Carolina.
Are you becoming Mike Pereira on me? I mean, you're seeing it all?
Tom Johnson, well, you said the veteran guy, you know. Here it is.
Well, and Cam Newton playing like a veteran with the hard count, drawing the Saints off sides. 5 yards, valuable yardage for the Carolina Panthers.
Boy, you love his poise. First down on the 35 now of the Saints. Play action for Newton, and wide open is Jonathan Stewart. And Stewart will get another first down for the Panthers, and picking up 12 yards. And for a game break, let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Buffalo has put up 21 unanswered against Philadelphia. Brad Smith on the Wildcat, his first touchdown of the season, puts the Bills up 28-7 in the third quarter. Dick and John?
Things aren't going very well for Philadelphia teams.
Not at all. The dream team is not so dreamy right about now.
D'Angelo Williams coming back in the game. First down on the 23. Down by 10. Here is Williams. Can't break it, but picks up a couple on first down. Abrea Franklin, the veteran nose tackle, making the stop. Under 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The only scoring thus far was a John Casey field goal for the Saints.
This is a real good drive for the Carolina Panthers because, as we mentioned, New Orleans has really been dominating this in terms of time of possession. That gets your defense tired. Now the Panthers, we see the time of possession in New Orleans' favor, but this drive really is swinging it back for Carolina, giving their defense some valuable rest.
Jonathan Stewart giving D'Angelo Williams a rest. He's back in there on second down and 8. And there is the pass into the end zone, and double covered was Brandon LaFell by Tracy Porter and Malcolm Jenkins.
What they're going to do is sell a little quick screen to their star Steve Smith and then try to take it up top. But Malcolm Jenkins, the safety, was right there. Had Cam Newton thrown that inbounds, waiting for it. Didn't go for the bait of Steve Smith. Nice play by Malcolm Jenkins. Very good player for the New Orleans Saints.
And the Panthers fortunate that that pass was not thrown into the end zone. Now 3rd and 8. Pressure on Cam Newton. The pass is caught by Brandon LaFell. Diving close to the sticks. No signal yet. Touchdown. 21 yards.
Watch the end of this play. Great job by Cam Newton putting it in LaFell's hands. Look at him reach out for that ball. Remember that pylon. It touches the pylon. That's in bounds. I think that's going to come back. Remember, all these reviewed. We'll see if it's got to come from the booth. They'll tell John Perry whether to review it or confirm it. And they're holding the ball right now, I think, taking a strong look at this one.
So this is where the new rule of confirming touchdowns is significant. LaFell would be his second touchdown catch of the year if it's confirmed.
The previous play will be reviewed.
And they're going to review it. So it could not be confirmed. And they'll take a look.
Well, and here's why it's being reviewed. Look at that left knee right about here. And where's the football when that knee goes down? To my eye, it's not in the end zone. I think John Perry will go under the hood and place this probably on the 1 yard line. Positive for Carolina, though, not a touchdown, but a third down conversion.
No, if worse comes to worse, they get the ball on the 1.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call Star NFL from your Verizon phone to get NFL Mobile.
And welcome back to Charlotte. The ruling on the field was that there was a touchdown. LaFell.
The runner's left knee was down, and when it was down, the ball was short of the goal line on the 1 yard line. Therefore, it'll be first and goal. Carolina on the right half.
So they didn't confirm it, they reviewed it, and they got it right.
They did get it right, and that's why I think this rule, you take it out of the coach's hands, you put it on the replay official. John Perry takes a look, and they get it right. His knee's down, ball's not in the end zone. Place it at the 1. We'll see if Carolina can get in. Dick, this is where Cam Newton, the run threat that he provides, such a big. Remember, 4 rushing touchdowns already on the season for Cam.
First and goal at the 1. Jonathan Stewart is a setback. 3 tight ends for the Panthers. And here's Cam Newton. And the Newton doesn't come close on first down.
He's such a weapon. He's such a strong and big guy. You see, New Orleans gets him in the backfield. They've obviously keyed on this. They run a power. It's Cedric Ellis who gets in the backfield. Sean Rogers, excuse me, who gets in the backfield. Excellent play, but Cam Newton, so long, he stretches out and he gets it down really close within the 1 yard line.
Well, they try to power it in with Newton. Let's see what they do second and goal. And again, they go with Cam Newton. Touchdown. Cam Newton's second try on the quarterback sneak. Gets it over for the touchdown. And again, they got to unleash that pile here. It seems that every time we've had a pile of players, we've had a skirmish going on. Yes, we can, they say in Charlotte, and Cam Newton scoring his 5th touchdown of the year. And the extra point by Murray would bring the Panthers to within 3. (23-20), and the Panthers are hanging in there.
Yes, they are, and they're doing it with their young quarterback, Cam Newton. Put the ball in his hands with the game on the line. Remember, this guy's 6'6", 250 pounds, and he uses it all.
And the New Orleans Saints, as prolific as their offense is, can't seem to shake the Carolina Panthers, who engineer an 80-yard, 12-play drive capped by Cam Newton's 1 yard run, 4 for 5 for 51 yards in the process, and Olindo Mare kicking off to Darren Sproles with 3:43 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And the Saints will get it out at the 20.
You look at Cam Newton keeping the Panthers in every game. They're in this one as well.
Saints defense trying to catch their breath here as the Saint lead cut to 3. And New Orleans offense first down at the 20. Pierre Thomas, who has carried 5 times for 13 yards. Sproles is their leading ball carrier with 47 yards and a 5.2 average from the 20. Breeze up the middle, and another terrific catch by Jimmy Graham. That's his 6th reception of the game. Martin on the play in a 20-yard pickup to the 40.
And this is a defensive player again. I said it earlier. You motion outside, expect the guy in the slot to get the ball. They go back to Sherrod Martin, the safety. I'd keep Godfrey on him. Godfrey seems to be playing it well. Sean Payton going to take the shots to Jimmy Graham.
Graham with 103 yards in receiving yards. Here's Pierre Thomas, and Thomas is hemmed in. Good pursuit that time, and a 2-yard gain with Ronald Fields, former Denver Bronco, coming up to make the stop on Pierre Thomas.
Dick Dish during the commercial, I was telling you, expect Sean Payton to come out with the knockout blow. You've been jabbing him. You've been jabbing him. You got to put him away. Expect a shot from the New Orleans Saints.
2nd down and 9 on the 41, and we'll tell you about the NFL mobile. After this play, Darren Sproles has checked in. 2nd down and 8. Drew Brees' pass, and it's intercepted by Sherrod Martin off the hands of Jimmy Graham. So we're going to wait a little bit on NFL mobile, won't we? And the first turnover of the game by the Saints.
Well, you don't see this much. You got a guy like Jimmy Graham. Sometimes you try to force it. You got underneath coverage by Captain Mutterland. Nice job. Jimmy Graham goes up to tip it. Sherrod Martin tips and overthrows. A lot of the interceptions in the National Football League happen that way. Sherrod Martin finishes the deal on the tip from Jimmy Graham.
And he has 2 of the 3 interceptions this year by Carolina. And I can get this in now. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL to get NFL action right on your phone. And if you did, you would have seen that pick. First down on the 41. Play action to D'Angelo Williams. Cam Newton's pass incomplete, intended for Jeremy Shockey.
I like the aggressiveness, though. You get a turnover. You got a young quarterback, conventional wisdom. Now we got to grind it out. Instead, attack. And that's what they wanted. Jerry Richardson, this whole organization, we don't want to be a team who plays not to lose. We want to be a team that plays to win. And I like that aggressiveness right there.
Well, you said that right at the outset, that there are a lot of ways you can play Drew Brees. You can play ball control, keep the ball out of his hands. Instead, yeah, we're going to go after him punch for punch offensively, and that's exactly what they've done. 2nd down and 10 at the 41. Stewart is in the game, and here's the reception by Nene. Gets open. Nene gets inside the 20-yard. Let's see where they mark it. The 31. A gain of 28 yards by Nene. Let's get a game break from Kurt Menefee.
A story of the good and bad for the Eagles. Michael Vick with his 53-yard run passes Randall Cunningham on the all-time career list for rushing yards by a quarterback. Set up a touchdown to pull them to within 28-14 of Buffalo, but they just turned the football over, and the Bills have it, now up 2 scores. Dick and John.
All right, thank you very much, Kurt. Panthers moving it here, and Cam Newton, and he has an open receiver. And down is Jerome Felton, the fullback, inside the 25, a 7-yard gain.
You got to really like what Rob Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, is doing right now. Put it in Cam Newton's hands. Yes, he's a rookie, but he's proven to you that he can make plays with the game on the line. To beat Drew Brees, you got to attack. You got to go touchdown for touchdown, and that's what Chudzinski and the Carolina Panthers need to do right now.
Let's not forget Mike Shula, the quarterback coach of this team as well. 2nd down and 3 with under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Here's the handoff to Jonathan Stewart. Gets hit, and he's down maybe a yard on the play. Good play by Cameron Jordan.
You think this isn't a physical game? Watch Jonathan Stewart take Jolon Dunbar. Wow, get off me. I'm trying to get a first down. Good football here in Carolina today. The strength of Jonathan Stewart.
So the Saints trying to stop the Panthers, who are 5 for 7 on third down conversions. They need 2 yards. Play action. Cam Newton. Ad-libbing. Now takes off, and Cam Newton's going to get the first down inside the 20. If I were on the Panthers sideline, I'd be saying, get rid of the ball, throw it away. But he knew what he was doing, and he got 5 yards and a first down as time runs out in the third quarter.
Well, is that any good? Usually it's 3 Mississippi. Quarterback gets rid of it. Not with Cam Newton. These plays go forever. Cam Newton, first down.
23-20 after 3.
Well, 3rd and 2. Rob Chudzinski and the Carolina Panthers put it in the hands of their quarterback, Cam Newton. The throw's not there. You scramble to your left. You come back to the right. You get rid of Abreu Franklin, and you go get yourself a first down. This guy is wildly talented. He can throw it. He can run it. Cam Newton has arrived.
So if you're Greg Williams, what do you do about this guy?
Well, that's a good question, because when you got a guy who can throw it, who can run it, I think what you do, you get the ball back in Drew Brees' hands. You got to feel comfortable with your offense. You got to keep them to a field goal. That's a win for the New Orleans Saints.
Start of the 4th, Dick Stockton, John Lynch, Jennifer Hale, first down on the 18 of the Saints. And there's the option play again, and there's a first down. Cam Newton getting inside the 10. Vilma on the stop, picks up 13.
Remember, early on in the first half, touchdown to D'Angelo Williams. This time, you want to go with Stewart, the running back. I'll carry it myself. First down. Cam Newton taking over this football game right now in a critical situation.
And how about the Panthers? They've had the ball longer in the third quarter than they did in the entire game up to that point. D'Angelo Williams checks in. The number's on Newton. First and goal from the 6. Newton lost the pass. Incomplete, trying to get it to Jeremy Shockey.
I love the aggressiveness, though. I continue to say it. You don't want a field goal. You want a touchdown right here. Game of inches, just out of the outstretched hands of Jeremy Shockey.
Shockey has caught 3 passes for 21 yards today. And comes out of the game. Second down and goal.
Wildcat. D'Angelo Williams lined up at quarterback.
And the quarterback, Cam Newton, split out to the left. Here's D'Angelo Williams inside the 5. And trying to drive his way to the goal line is stopped by Scott Shanley and a few other black shirts. Pickup of around 4.
We talk about the pressure that the New Orleans Saints offense puts on you. Cam Newton looks winded there. But the pressure that this Carolina Panthers, they can do so many things. Cam can run it right here. 3rd and 3 at the 3. Are they going to throw it? Are they going to run it? I don't know. I can't tell you. So you got to prepare for everything.
Well, they got Nene and LaFell coming on in along with Jeremy Shockey here for this 3rd and goal play from the 2-yard line.
I think your best receivers up here and Steve Smith one-on-one. I'd feed him.
The pass caught, touchdown Greg Olsen. And no, a flag is down back at the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be another roughing the passer penalty against the Saints.
Remember the last drive, it was a roughing the passer. First of all, that was an incomplete pass. They didn't give Olsen the touchdown. It was a roughing the passer on the last drive that led to a touchdown. Another critical mistake for the New Orleans Saints defense.
Helmet to helmet was the call. Sean Rogers.
They got that one right. Sean Rogers dipped his head, and they'll call that one every time.
Now it's
discipline.
first and goal at the 1. You're right about that. That's twice here in the second half.
Ball start, number 67. Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Center Ryan Khalil, who's a fixture here in Carolina, and so this makes it a little more difficult moving the ball out to the 6. It'll still be first and goal.
This is where it gets tough on a rookie quarterback. We talked about third down earlier. Inside the red zone, the passing lanes constrict. Everything's a lot tighter. The ability for the New Orleans Saints defense to turn the ball over. Got to be very careful if you're Cam Newton.
We've had 15 penalties. Newton is going to run and gets to the 5. 1-yard pickup. Vilma shadowing him all the way. And it'll be second down and goal from the 5.
And a pro like Vilma says, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. It's not going to happen with a guy like John Vilma. He knows the run's coming. He's waiting for Cam Newton. Critical that the Panthers find a way to get the ball in the end zone. I'd keep it in Cam Newton's hands. Greg Olsen lined up as a running back in the backfield.
And the pass, and great pressure put on that time by Jonathan Casillas on Newton. Now it's getting a little problematical for the Panthers, who are looking at third and goal from the 5.
You talk about penalties. They killed the New Orleans Saints. They were off the field. But then Khalil, with the false start, puts them back 5 yards. The difference between a touchdown and a field goal, we'll see.
Remember, this all started with the roughing the passer penalty on third down against the Saints. They've had another one in a 3-point game. Third and goal. And here's Newton's pass. And it's touchdown to Greg Olsen. Just over the goal line was Greg Olsen, and the Carolina Panthers have taken their first lead of the game, 26-23.
What is it with these former University of Miami tight ends? They're all over Jimmy Graham.
And they're going to have
Greg
to confirm
Olsen,
this too.
Jeremy Shockey. Olsen lined up as the number 3 receiver. Going to get up there, post him up. Great ball location from Cam Newton. Outstanding execution by the Carolina Panthers.
And they will have to confirm this as well. And this is more of a critical confirmation. And apparently it has been confirmed, and so it's a touchdown, 5-yard pass with Orlando Mare kicking the extra point. And the Panthers have taken a 27-23 lead. Cam Newton. They're going to start calling him amazing as the rookie quarterback for Carolina.
And you got to get DirecTV. By Burger King. More beef, more value. The $1.99 Toppers burgers only at Burger King. And by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state.
And welcome back to Carolina. 59 yards, 11 plays, 2 roughing the passer calls. Greg Williams can't be at all pleased at how his defense now being solved, it appears, by Cam Newton, as Greg Olsen catching his 3rd touchdown pass of the year. And Darren Sproles decides to take a knee in the end zone, and the Saints will take it out at the 20.
Cam Newton not playing like a rookie, delivering a strike for the Carolina Panthers.
Safe against Drew Brees when you consider that the Panthers missed an extra point and the timeout was called, enabling Casey to kick a field goal before intermission. It could be an 8-point lead for Carolina at this point.
Should be an 8-point lead. Those are simple execution things. You kick an extra point, you do that all the time. The timeout that would have resulted in 0 points at the end. Critical mistakes for the Panthers. We'll see if it comes back to burn them.
First down at the 20 for Drew Brees. Handoff to Darren Sproles. And Sproles gets a yard by Dan Connor. He's had to come in the middle in place of John Beeson, the all-pro middle linebacker. 1 yard gain on the play. Remember, the Panthers were trailing the Saints 10-0 in this game following the first play interception by Robinson against Cam Newton. Have outscored New Orleans 27-13 since.
It's a good football game. This is division football. This is fun stuff.
2nd and 9. Again, they go to Sproles. And Jason Williams and James Anderson combine. 2-yard gain.
Sean Payton wanting the ball in Darren Sproles' hands. But now all of a sudden you're in a 3rd and 8 situation. Carolina defense stepping up to the task.
John, this is the time I think the Saints have run the ball the first 2 plays of the series.
I think you're correct. And I would say this is advantage Carolina, but Drew Brees is your quarterback. He thrives on these 3rd and long situations.
Third and 7. Colston makes the catch and gets the first down up to the 39. Martin pushes him out of bounds. And a pickup of 15 yards, and what else is new?
So tough to get off the field. Marcus Colston, who just 4 weeks ago broke his collarbone. He's aligned in a stack. They're going to run off. Robert Meacham's going to run him off. He's going to get behind the zone, and Drew Brees, deadly accurate. The best 3rd down football team in football, led by Drew Brees.
First down, and the slant intended for Lance Moore. And good physical defense by Darius Butler.
You see the difference. They've run that route a couple times with Jimmy Graham. The big body can shield you. Lance Moore, probably not the best route in coverage because he doesn't have that big body.
You know, those people that saw the Panthers struggle through a terrible year last year, now you look at what they've done. Even though they're 1-3, they've been in every game, including this one, of course, and have the lead. This crowd is into it. Fans are back here in Carolina without question. Cam Newton, the #1 reason. 2nd down and 10. Good pickup on the blitz. Drew Brees' pass, though, incomplete. Moore was the intended receiver.
I think when Jerry Richardson, Marty Herney, the general manager, went out and got a head coach, they wanted aggressiveness. And you're seeing it on offense, you're seeing it on defense. You got Drew Brees, a lot of people scared to blitz him. Critical situation, you blitz him, and it's paying off. I bring it here again on 3rd down.
And there is Jerry Richardson and his wife Roz. Saints are 10 of 14 on 3rd down conversions. Empty backfield on 3rd and 10.
They're showing pressure.
And the quick toss to Sproles, and he's knocked out of bounds. 5 yards shy of the first down by Sherrod Martin. And an inspired Panther defense forcing New Orleans to kick.
Carolina Panthers right now, Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator, they're saying we're standing toe-to-toe with the best in our division in the New Orleans Saints. And we're out ahead. They're loving it.
Morstead's punt and Armonte Edwards. And a great kick by Morstead. A 56-yard punt by Thomas Morstead. This is the kind of hitting that we're seeing really from both teams today. We'll be right back.
Is sponsored by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost.
Panthers have the ball 1st and 10 on their 20. Steve Smith, in case you're wondering, has been thrown to only once since the first quarter. He has a 54-yard touchdown catch. That was a 6-yard play. Here's Jonathan Stewart. Gets on opening. And Stewart fights his way for a solid 7-yard gain with Shanley on the tackle. Well, tomorrow, experience television's biggest adventure. Terra Nova takes you where no other series has gone before. 85 million years into the past. The LA Times calls it the most exciting show of the fall season. An all-new Terra Nova tomorrow at 8, 7 Central on Fox. Panthers line up with 3 tight ends on 2nd and 3. against Stewart. First down. Jonathan Stewart brings it out to the 38-yard line. Jabari Greer, the tackle, a pickup of 11. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee. A game break from Kurt.
Well, the Giants' Victor Cruz, proven to be more than just a one-week wonder, takes this pass from Eli Manning and follows the bouncing ball. Hangs in there, catches it one-handed. 68 yards later, it's good for a score, and they get the two-point conversion. Giants leading now by 3 in the fourth. Dick and John.
We call that a nip-and-tuck game.
Eli Manning, the top-rated passer in the fourth quarter in all of football.
First down at the 37. Stewart, and this time the Saints close in and make the tackle, maybe a yard, with Joe Lon Dunbar. Dunbar starting in place of Will Herring. And Stewart will come out, and D'Angelo Williams, who has gained 115 yards today, including a 69-yard brilliant touchdown run, comes back in.
And Dick, the most impressive thing is the way that the Carolina Panthers have possessed the football in the second half here today. Remember, first half, it was all New Orleans Saints in terms of possessing the football. That helps your offense. It also helps your defense. Their defense was tired in the first half. They're fresh right now.
And there's D'Angelo Williams to the bottom of your picture, lined up as a receiver on 2nd and 9. And this pass going to Greg Olsen. And Olsen is tripped up nicely by Malcolm Jenkins, who saved the first down on that play. And he's tackled at the 45.
I like the play call, and again, you're finding ways to get the football to your weapons. They're feeding a multitude of players. They've got a multitude of players. You're seeing them go to running backs. They alternate their running backs. They go to the receivers. They go to their tight ends. Did a nice job, as we mentioned earlier, building around Cam, and they're using them all.
Third downs are always important. This is the first important third down of the game. Panthers need 2. Jonathan Stewart checking back in. And Newton going deep for Steve Smith, and way off as thrown to the left of Steve Smith. So they go deep on a 3rd and 2. Patrick Robinson was downfield. That ball closer to Robinson than it was to Steve Smith, and Carolina will kick the ball.
Boy, you talk about attacking. 3rd and 2, they go for the deep one. Cam Newton and Steve Smith, just a little miscommunication. Cam thought he'd be releasing outside. He released inside. Big miss for the Carolina Panthers.
They run the ball early and try the long pass late. Baker kicking to Sproles, and the fair catch by Darren Sproles at the 10. Good kick by Baker, and Drew Brees, who can start and score from anywhere on the field, will begin from the 10 when we get back. Panthers lead 27-23 over the Saints, who will begin from the 11-yard line with 7:06 remaining in regulation. Keep in mind, Drew Brees with 17 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or in overtime, looking to throw on first down from inside the 5, and the pass to Robert Meacham, and they rule a catch out to the 15 or 16.
This is where Drew Brees is at his best. And Dick, we keep coming back to it, but you think of the timeout at the end of the half. Would have been 3 points that the Saints didn't have. This would be a touchdown game. The missed extra point would be an 8-point game. Now you got a 4-point game with the ball in Drew Brees' hands.
2nd and 5. Ingram. And Ingram will be about 3 or 4 yards short of the first down, as Antoine Applewhite making the tackle as we get close to the 6-minute mark in this fourth quarter. 3rd down and 3 coming up.
Remember, coming into the day, Darren Sproles led the league in 3rd down receptions. I'd have my eyes on Darren Sproles if I'm the Carolina defense.
He's had 11 of them coming into this game. He's out there along with Pierre Thomas. Drew Brees calls a timeout. And in the second half, especially when you're trailing, they are precious.
Timeout, New Orleans. 30-second timeout.
And the first timeout of the second half.
It's interesting. You don't see Drew Brees confused much in this second half. Sean McDermott has done a great job of doing just that, confusing Drew Brees in this New Orleans offense.
You know, you brought out a great thing earlier talking about Cam Newton, and that is the Panthers are playing a terrific game, and right now they have the lead. But Cam Newton told us it's wins. And, you know, if he doesn't get a win out of this, he's going to be as down as you could possibly be.
He said, I don't want to talk about hope. I want wins, and I want them now. I love the competitive nature of this guy. There's a guy who plays quarterback for the Saints who's as competitive as they get, too. His name's Drew Brees. It's going to be fun to watch him operate right here.
He has done it.
There's Darren Sproles.
And Cam Newton would like to do it. 3rd down and 3. And there's the pass. And it's caught by Jimmy Graham, who is hit as he got the ball, and a first down at the 30-yard line. A pickup of 12. Big catch.
There he is, the point man in the bunch. Drew Brees going to buy time. Sean Payton says one of the most underrated thing about Drew Brees, people think he's an overachiever. This is a special athlete, Drew Brees, and I agree with him. So is Jimmy Graham.
First down at the 30. And here's Brees again, and again it's Graham with a first down at the 44. And Godfrey has been on him, but when you have that pinpoint passing, 14 yards on that play, 26 yards for Graham from Brees the last 2 plays.
Dick, here Jimmy Graham in his 2nd year out of the University of Miami. Sean Payton told us the other day, Hall of Fame ability. You don't hear coaches use that word much. They use that word. He thinks this guy will end up in Canton someday. Got a long way to go.
Oh, that's a incredible testimony there. First down. And this pass intended for Meacham. And it's incomplete with Captain Munnerlyn downfield covering. Munnerlyn has made great strides this year.
He has. He's playing good football. We talked about Sean Payton praised him all week, and then he's gone after him. And Captain Munnerlyn right here in the slot, going to stand up to them continue to go after. Gets hands on him. Good job disrupting the time and rhythm. Play the football, play his hands. Nice defense by Captain Munnerlyn.
Pierre Thomas gets the call and tailback on 2nd down and 10. But Brees is going to try the screen pass to Thomas. And Pierre Thomas still on his feet and spins his way inside the 40-yard line. A big play for the Saints. Picking up 18 yards into Carolina territory, and a first down, using all his backs today.
Yes, he is, and Pierre Thomas has kind of been the forgotten one. Ronald Fields feels him slipping by, a one-hand catch, nice concentration, and then the yards after the catch. This guy's Mr. Consistency for the New Orleans Saints, and they go to him in a critical spot.
And they'll officially mark it an 18-yard gain, first down on the 38. Of Carolina. Here's Mark Ingram. Ingram had scored a touchdown earlier in the game, and it's Norwood and Fua holding Ingram to a pickup of 2 with under 4 minutes remaining in regulation. Well, we talked about Drew Brees, who's won a Super Bowl, who's one of the best in the league, and Cam Newton, who's the #1 pick in the draft, the Heisman Trophy winner. A contrast in quarterbacks, one with hope and one who has done it. 2nd down and 8. Brees pulls it down. Trying to get it down, and its pass is caught by Colston. Managed to keep both feet in bounds and make the catch for a 10-yard pickup despite the pressure of Hardy and McLean.
Here's what Sean Payton's talking about. Not an overachiever, an incredible athlete. Look at him lift his feet with Greg Hardy coming, keep his eyes downfield, and then deliver a strike right where it needs to be for Marcus Colston. That's indefensible, and that's Drew Brees at his best.
So it's a first down at the 26 of the Panthers. Thomas. And he was hit first by Jason Williams, picking up about 2.5 yards.
If you're the Panthers, don't give up the big play. You cannot allow it in the end zone. Field goal does not beat you. You got a 4-point game. You're okay if you're the Panthers. Keep them out of the end zone. Tougher to do than just to talk about it. That's what the Panthers have to do.
Rushing yards, 162 for Carolina, 99 for the Saints. Sproles is in there now on 2nd and 7. Pass caught by Robert Meacham and is stopped about a yard shy of the first down by Darius Butler. As we have under 2.5 to play, 3rd down and 1 upcoming.
Looks like Breeze and Sean Payton going to let this go to the 2-minute warning.
Well, you said it at the beginning of this second half, John Lynch, that this game has all the makings of going down on the wire, and it certainly is. We will have our 2-minute warning here in Carolina. It has been a battle royal with the Panthers leading the Saints 27-23, and 3rd and 1 upcoming for New Orleans. The new-look Carolina Panthers trying to get respect, yes, but also trying to get a win against one of the toughest teams in the league, the New Orleans Saints, who are trying to win their 4th game in a row, knowing that they have had tough battles against the Panthers in this NFC South. Now it's 3rd down and 1 with 2 minutes to go in the 4th. And the handoff to Mark Ingram, and Ingram will dive forward for the 1st down. Anderson on the play and a 2-yard pickup. Keep in mind the Saints with 2 timeouts remaining, and the Panthers have 3.
Dick, part of growing as an organization under a new head coach is learning how to win. Remember the Panthers, they've been in every game. They say we could be 4-0, but you aren't. You're 1-3. You got to find a way to come out with a victory. Someone has to make a play for the Carolina Panthers.
1st down from the 15, and the pass thrown underneath to Marcus Colston, and Colston picks up about 9 yards. Down to the 6 with Godfrey on the play, and this is where Breeze is also adept at pecking away.
Yeah, and you're seeing zone coverage, and you might be saying, why are we seeing zone coverage? It's because the matchup nightmares that if you go into man-to-man, you've got Jimmy Graham to deal with. You've got Darren Sproles to deal with. I would think the Panthers will get aggressive here on defense.
2nd down and 1. Play action. And here's Pierre Thomas. And Thomas going in for the touchdown, and the Saints regain the lead. With 50 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter, Pierre Thomas on the receiving end of a Drew Brees touchdown. Brees' 2nd touchdown pass of the game, and John Casey looking to give the Saints a 3-point lead with 50 seconds to go, and he does against his former team. So Thomas with his 1st touchdown as a receiver.
Look at that last touchdown. You're going to see Pierre Thomas right here on the roll pass. Watch Charles Godfrey. Call it a pick as a defensive player. Offensive players like to call it a rub route. And it gives Pierre Thomas enough room to get into the end zone. Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints made it look easy with the game on the line. We'll see if Cam Newton can counter.
And here is that touchdown again. And can the Carolina Panthers prevent Drew Brees from having engineered his 18th game-winning comeback? And you saw his passing numbers, 32 completions. And so he has had 20 or more completions for the 25th consecutive game, an ongoing record in the league.
Now, good news for the Panthers. You've got all 3 of your timeouts left. 50 seconds. You only need a field goal to send it into overtime. 50 seconds, enough time with three timeouts left, but a tough situation again for a rookie quarterback. Has he been here before? Can he pull this off? Could be fun to watch.
89-yard drive that consumed 6 minutes. Morstead will be kicking off to Kealoha Polaris. And Morstead has kicked it out of the end zone from here all game long. And does so again.
You're going to see some key plays. Right now you got a 30-27 game. Remember, the blocked extra point. 1 point that Carolina should have on the board. At the end of the half, New Orleans scrambles to try to get on the field to kick a field goal. Carolina has to call a timeout. The Saints don't get the ball up. 3 points that the Saints wouldn't have had. They got to re-kick it because of the timeout, and here we are, 3-point lead for the New Orleans Saints.
Starting from the 20, Newton, 14 of 24, 197 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And on first down, waiting and delivering, and the pass is ruled a catch to Steve Smith. Boy, it's been ages since they've gone to Smith. He gets 19 yards out to the 39. And a timeout is called by the Panthers.
Charge timeout, Carolina, 30-second timeout.
You look at Cam Newton coming out, ready to play, ready to go up against one of the legends of Drew Brees. He's feeding Jeremy Shockey. He can run it as well. He can throw from the pocket. He can extend plays to get big first downs. This guy's a special player that they have in Carolina. We'll see he can do it, if he can do it in the most critical of situations at the end of the football game for the Carolina Panthers.
Steve Smith, 3 catches for 79 yards and the 54-yard touchdown play. And with 42 seconds remaining, a first down on the 39. Jonathan Stewart is the running back in the game. Here comes the pressure, and hit from behind is Cam Newton, and the pass is incomplete. Jonathan Casillas coming from the blind side.
Cam Newton never saw him coming. Jonathan Casillas going to come right here, going to bring the blitz on the blind side. Cam Newton's responsible. No one missed their block. That's Cam Newton's guy. You got to get the ball out of your hands. Never sees him. Fortunate that it wasn't a sack fumble.
Or an interception by Tracy Porter. So second down and 10. Panthers have 4 downs to keep it moving. And here is the pass. And diving and making the catch. Legadou Nene into Saints territory at the 45. Getting 16 yards. And the Panthers call their second timeout.
Look at Cam Newton stand tall. They're going to give Steve Smith all the attention. Legadou Nene goes and makes a great catch. Is that ball loose or not? The timeout's going to give the booth extra time, so maybe not the best of situations for the Carolina Panthers. Looks like that ball came a little bit loose. We'll see if they do review that in the booth.
And of course the Panthers obviously felt that that was a reception and we got to stop the clock and call the timeout and take the risk. And apparently we're going to have a booth review. Good call, John. Here is John Parry to tell us.
Will be reviewed.
So what do you do if you're Carolina? Do you quickly run up and make the play because the upstairs tells you you better run it soon?
Well, I think maybe you spike the ball and save the timeout because although the booth would still have time. Look at Nene. Hands are underneath. The ball comes loose at the end. I think this is going to be overturned. Incomplete pass. We will see.
All right, we're going to take a break right now. It's a booth review to see whether Nene had possession. We have a booth review on whether Nene made the catch. And Mike Pereira, your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you, eagle-eye John Lynch. This ball looks to come out from underneath him. I think the left hand does come off the ball, and it's on the ground. Now, here's what they got to do. Timeout back.
The ball hit the ground without possession. Therefore, to be third down, because we changed the ruling to a stop clock, Carolina will get their second timeout back. They have 2 timeouts now remaining in the game.
All right, so Mike, thank you very much. And John, you had it. And again, the timeout was called immediately instead of spiking the ball and going up to the line. But those are instinctive moves.
I think even spiking the ball, the booth would have had time. I think they're going to review it anyway. Not much you can do if you're Carolina other than catch the ball if you're Nene. And remember, you have to control it all the way through the process of going to the ground.
So the Panthers will get their timeout back, which is a small consolation considering that the 16-yard pass comes back. And now
they did get their timeout back. Remember, Dick, so you got 2 timeouts if you're the Carolina Panthers. They gave them the timeout that they had to call back. So you've got 33 seconds, 2 timeouts.
it is 3rd down and 10 from the 39. Remember, they have 2 downs to get the first down. Two officials with a conference, and they want to set the play clock. And now it is running to 23. 3rd down and 10. Cam Newton fires. Knocked down, intended for Nene, and it was Tracy Porter who knocks it down. And that'll bring up 4th down. Want to welcome the viewers who have joined us here for the final seconds of this exciting game in Carolina.
Well, and it's been a tremendous game, but this was a big 3rd and 10. Legadou Nene, they're doubling Steve Smith. Tracy Porter making a huge play. Tracy Porter coming off an injury. They played him in nickel situations last week, but Tracy Porter with a huge play brings up a big 4th and 10.
With 27 seconds left, Panthers have to get a first down, otherwise turn it back to the Saints, who are up by 3. Here is Cam Newton, and Newton's pass. Flag is down. And Greg Olsen appeared to be interfered with by Roman Harper.
Pass interference. Defense, number 41. Automatic spot foul. 1st and 10.
Well, Greg Williams told us that's not Roman Harper's biggest strength, man-to-man coverage. It's my job to minimize the number of times I put him in those situations. And on the most critical situation, he puts him in it. And a clear pass interference for Roman Harper and the New Orleans Saints. 1st down, Carolina.
22 seconds left. Clock working against the Panthers with the ball on the 49 of the Saints. Here's Cam Newton stepping up. And this pass incomplete, trying to get it to Legadou Nene, way past him. Good quarterback pressure by Cedric Ellis, and a holding penalty coming
Holding, number 69, offense, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
And Jordan Gross called for holding, and time beginning to run out on the Panthers. And they'll mark it back to the 41 of Carolina.
And the hold's just critical right here, Dick. Remember, you got to get the ball to about the 35-yard line to give Mare 53, 54-yard field goal. Just a critical loss of field position. 17 seconds. You still have 2 timeouts, so you do have time.
Newton. And the pass is incomplete. Greg Olsen could not hold on, hit by Roman Harper. And now we have 11 seconds remaining. The Carolina Panthers trailing 10-0 early to these Saints, and ended up taking a 27-23 lead on a Cam Newton touchdown pass in the 4th quarter. Newton has completed 15 of 29 for 216 yards and 2 touchdowns. But Drew Brees, seconds away from completing his 18th.
Now Cam Newton's in the position where he's got to drive the ball downfield. No other choice with time running out.
Nene and stops the clock with 5 seconds to go. The ball is on the 49 of Carolina.
This is tough because now in 5 seconds it's hard to get a completion and stop the clock down the field enough. So you may just have to go for the Hail Mary pass here. Tough to stop the clock. Get the timeout with only 5 seconds left on the clock.
You would have to drill a pass to the sideline and get out of bounds to set up a field goal.
You do have the timeouts, but over in the middle of the field, I think it would take too long. We'll see.
And timeout called by the Panthers. So they will have 1 left.
This is the 2nd. Charge timeout, Carolina. 30-second timeout.
It's been a wild game here in the first divisional contest for both of these teams. DeAngelo Williams going over 100 yards for the 16th time in his career, and Drew Brees, ever the cool customer, Brees, seconds away from engineering his 18th game-winning drive. And Cam Newton, did he show the New Orleans Saints something today in their first look at him?
Well, he has, but as we talk to him, he don't want to hear about hope and the hope he's given the Carolina Panthers. He wants wins. And we'll see. It's looking like he's going to come up short once again, and that will continue the frustration. But I think you've got
Panthers. And now the Saints will call their second timeout.
Charge timeout, New Orleans. 30-second timeout.
So a cat and mouse timeout game going on here. Terrific week of NFL football, and next week we have a Fox doubleheader Sunday. These Panthers go down to Atlanta to face the Falcons. Rams play the Packers. The 49ers and the Lions hook up, and the Eagles duel with the Redskins. And then it's America's game of the week. The Dallas Cowboys against the New England Patriots. And some will see these Saints against the Buccaneers. And the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show will start it all at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
I think, Dick, your only chance, I believe, is to get the ball a one-step drop as quick as you can. Get it to one of your receivers. The Saints are going to be playing way back, and get as many yards as you can within those 5 seconds, and then get out of bounds or call timeout. Give yourself up. Remember the play in the New York Giants.
Right.
You can't give yourself up, but it's hard to do in 5 seconds. It looks like they're going for the Hail Mary.
And you know the Saints want to do anything but pass interference, giving Carolina another play. No time remaining, and here is the pass downfield, and it is knocked away by Jabari Greer. They try to get it to Steve Smith, and the game is over. A thriller here in Charlotte, but Cam Newton and the Panthers come up short again. Another close one, but another loss. Panthers drop to 1-4, and for Drew Brees and the Saints, another come-from-behind win for them. And they have won their 4th in a row. We'll be back.